Teacher Prix, how can I speak more correctly in English? Well, watch this video and find out. I'm gonna give you 3 good recommendations to help you speak more correctly in English. If you don't know me very well, hello, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, yes, because every week there are different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Hit the like button, it helps the channel. Today I got all dressed up to give you an amazing lesson because I'm going to talk about correction. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to dress up today. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you a quick story later on, but let's talk about the lesson, how to speak more correctly in English. Now guys, one thing that I always tell students is making mistakes is part of the journey. I even created a phrase that I always say, it's like my mantra. I always tell my sardines, my students in my academy, and it is, fluency is communication, not perfection, okay? Always remind yourself of that. Hey, chill. Fluency is communication. It's not perfection. So I always remind my babies inside my academy that, hey, no, all right? Of course, it is important to fix mistakes and speak more correctly, especially at your level, a pre-intermediate or intermediate level. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. No, make the mistakes. It's fine. Fluency is communication. Of course, you need to fix the mistakes and work on strategies, different strategies in your study routine so that you can improve. We are here in this world to be better, to improve in our personal life, in our business life, and in our practice, in our studies. Whether you are studying a language or having a new hobby, learning the piano, learning to do gardening, we always have to improve. But with the idea that, hey, communication, not perfection. I will never completely 100% nail something. It's part of us, no native speakers. And this is something that I do with my babies. With my babies, I call my BSA babies, my sardines, okay, my students. And I always tell my students that, hey, fluency is communication, not perfection. And I'm always giving them opportunities to practice their English speaking. I teach them how to establish a solo speaking practice. They have to practice their English speaking alone, but I am always showing them how to get that done, how to speak more correctly, how to combine the activities inside the academy with their life, with their English, so that they build the speaking muscle and the confidence so that they can go anywhere, anytime, and talk to anyone. But now, the first tip will include writing more. We are in a really techie, savvy generation. People don't write anymore. They don't have pencils anymore. They don't have pens anymore. And unfortunately, this is impacting the learning process. And if you want to speak more correctly, you got to start writing more correctly. You need to establish the habit of writing more. You can use technology in your favor. Yes, you can. But combine both. Here in previous lessons, I recommended using an app extension on your computer or downloading to your phone that will help you fix your mistakes. Of course, you can use technology. I am in favor of technology. It's because of technology that I am here right now. But it's not the focal point. I gotta write. And another mantra, another phrase that I always tell people is, people who write remember, people who type forget. And unfortunately, it is true. People who write remember, people who type forget, unfortunately. So, and I say, emphasizing again, writing will help you Writing will help your memory more than typing. That's what I was going to say. And in previous videos, I also mentioned some studies performed in children, research that showed that I love this study. They gathered a group of children, two groups of children. And for one group, they made the children write everything they learned in school. And the other group, they gave the kids tablets for them to type information. Then they analyzed the ability of the child to express their opinion, express themselves. And then they noticed that children who wrote more in the study were able to explain more. Their opinions were deeper. They had more explanations, more examples, while the kids who were typing couldn't do it. They couldn't give so many examples, long explanations. They were more superficial, They were more shallow. Okay, so this is one study. I really like this study, but there are more. Again, you can use technology in your favor. One thing that you can do, and I'm going to give you recommendations, is you can write and type. You can do both, but never just typing. Okay, and here's what you can do. What can you write about? Okay, Priscilla, what am I going to write about? I'm not in your academy. I'm not your baby. Not yet. Maybe one day you will be. You will join my academy. But right now, you're not. It's fine. But here's an example. Yesterday, it's really yesterday. I don't know when you're watching this video. I gave my students, my BSA, a listening and group conversation class. So I combined the two skills. Now, in this class, we didn't write, okay? It was not the exercise. But here's a recommendation that I give my students and I give you guys now. So we used a short scene from a TV show. They had to watch the show and then we practiced English speaking. I listened to as many students as possible and they started to describe the story. What happened in this part of the show? They described as much as possible. And here's what you can do. And I recommend my students, if you're watching and you're my baby and you were in the class yesterday, do this too. You can write down, you watch the show, you watch the episode, a short scene, then you will describe and you will write down. You will write maybe a page of a 5-minute scene. Write down, tell the story again. And after that, do what I did with my students. Speak about it. Oh, okay, in this scene, Ross got to his friends and then he started describing the problem. He did a procedure that didn't work so well. And then you describe what you saw in the movie. This is an excellent way for you to work on your writing, on your speaking, and consequently, with time, you will speak more correctly. Oh, but Priscilla, I don't have anyone to correct me. You know, when the students participate in this class with me, my babies, I can't correct everything they do. I can't talk to everyone. I talk to as many as possible. But I make some observations. I don't correct 100%. Why? Because fluency is communication, not perfection. I correct persistent mistakes. I get their attention to, hey, we don't do this in English. Oh, fix the pronunciation. Because if you don't have a clear pronunciation, it's difficult for people to understand. But a good conversation class will never stop you at everything you're doing correctly. No. That's why this is a work in progress. I can't stop you every time you make a mistake. That's not how conversation works. And it should not be your idea. When I was a private teacher, only 101, people would ask me, oh, don't you stop me all the time. No, if I do that to you, I will make you insecure. You will be afraid to speak English because you will always remember someone is stopping you, the teacher. Someone is stopping, not letting you talk. And when it's time to speak, you will freeze because you will anchor that memory and the negative association. So don't let anyone do that to you. I make some observations. And even when you are alone, don't worry about, oh, but am I speaking correctly? No, the important thing is you need to teach your brain to keep talking. That's a very important thing. Now, number 2, work on persistent mistakes. Every student, I don't know you in person, okay? I don't know you in person, but I am sure that you have at least one kind of persistent mistake. I have them. Every student has one kind of persistent mistake. So let's think of an example. I know you know simple present. I know you know simple present. Of course you do. I know you watched lessons, did exercises, got those book exercises, and you did them and you finished, and then you went to another lesson. I know. However, you still make simple present mistakes. That's a persistent mistake. So you need to go back to simple present, my friend. I have been studying for the past 2 weeks modal verbs. I know modal verbs. Yeah, I know them, but I go back to them. You just need to change the strategy, okay? That's very important. That's a very important point. Every time you go back to studying simple present, you will need to change the way you study simple present, okay? And I will give you some examples. Take a look. Actually, I prepared 1, 2, 3, 4 examples. So I will put the big slide again. Take a screenshot. 1, 2, 3, screenshot. Ta-da! Bing! Okay. Now, one thing you can do is you can read a short biography and talk about it. Biography. Think of inventors, important people in the past. You will read one. There are many websites with articles, biographies for you to read. Read one and then write about it. You will work on simple past. Okay, so let's say you want to work on simple past. You forget the verbs. Teacher, I always make mistakes with the verbs. This is a good exercise. Okay, so this is one. You will go on Google, you will read a biography, then you will write about it, and then you can talk about it. 2 skills. I teach this to my students all the time. Do that. Another thing you can do on another day, you can watch an interview, a Hollywood interview, you know, actors, actresses, and they are always talking about the past. In many interviews, they will tell a story, a childhood memory, something that happened to them. Pay attention to those moments and pick one story they tell in the past. And then after you watch the video, you're going to write, oh, in this part of the conversation, Jennifer Aniston told a story about her best friend from childhood. And then you use the past. You are intentionally studying past. Okay? So when you watch a movie, when you read something, you need to focus on past. Because it's your intention. You persist on this mistake, so you need to study again. So this is another thing you can do. Another thing you can do, you can focus on yourself. And you can combine speaking and writing. I love combining speaking and writing, not reading. You're not going to read your notes. You're going to speak. You're going to write. Then you close the notebook, and then you speak. So you will focus on childhood memories of yours. Think of one memory. When you were 5, when you were 10, when you were 15, and then you can write about it. You will need simple past. And this is the moment that you will go check the conjugation of the verb. You will go to Google, check the verb, verb conjugation of go, conjugation of think. If you forgot, you will need to search, okay? It's no problems. You can do that. And you can do this exercise by writing and by speaking. Write down your childhood memory, finished. Close your notebook. You don't read. Then you speak about the memory to strengthen your ability to speak. Okay? If you forget the verb conjugations, this is perfect. Another one, you can simply focus on a number of verbs in the past and write examples with them. This is the easiest one. Teacher, I always forget this verb. Okay, put in the list. Like, pick today. Today I want to review simple past. I will pick 10 verbs that I use in conversations, and I will create some examples. I can create examples by writing and by speaking. This is a very good exercise that will really strengthen your memory muscle, your ability to use the things you study. There's no other way, okay? Now, guys, before I continue to the tip number 3, which is really good, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. You know, every week I prepare wonderful lessons with all the love in my heart for you guys. And if you need organization, if you don't know how to organize your study routine, what kind of activities you should do, you need recommendations, I have the perfect solution for you. My study plan cycle that will teach you how to study every day. What do you need to do? How do you combine reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary, pronunciation? How do you study TV series? So it's an excellent material that will help you if you study alone, if you're not in my academy, if you're not my baby. This is an excellent product. I know it'll be very helpful for you. And also my listening mastery workshop. It's a different one and will help you better understand native speakers. What kind of practices you should implement if you want to understand people anywhere, anytime. But here we go. Links in the description of this video. No. This is not the slide. What happened to the slide? Oh, there is a slide from yesterday. I forgot to skip the slide, but this is the correct slide. Okay, so let's go. Speaking correctly requires a clear intonation and pronunciation. Guys, this is also a problem. If you want to speak correctly, I need to be able to understand you. Maybe you have good grammar. Maybe you know words in English, but I can't understand your intonation. You don't open your mouth well. Oh, but Priscilla, native speakers don't open their mouth. They keep them shut. They talk like this, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry, but there's so many things I need to do. And oh my God, life is crazy. We are not native speakers. We're non-native speakers. We need to open our mouth. We didn't learn like them. We need to adapt. So open your mouth, okay? Enunciate the words. We need that. So you should never, ever, ever abandon your pronunciation intonation practice. Using a short scene from a movie or a video with subtitles on YouTube will be great for doing shadowing work. Don't stop. So shadowing work, and I have videos here on my channel where I talk about shadowing. Check them out. Basically, when you do shadowing, you are listening to something in English and you repeat aloud. And you try to copy, to imitate the mannerisms, the way the person's speaking, the best way you can. This is one good pronunciation intonation exercise. You're not learning the technical stuff, I know, but it's very helpful. And the second one is to work on persistent pronunciation mistakes, because just as you have some persistent grammar mistakes, vocabulary mistakes, we also have the pronunciation intonation mistakes. So focus on specific sounds that are challenging for you. The idea here is similar to number 2, but focusing on persistent sound mistakes. We all make pronunciation mistakes. This is an important practice. And finally, watch your speed. You are not Bolt. You are not the Flash. So slow down. Speaking quickly will induce you to make more mistakes. Don't be afraid to pause. Breathe. Organize your thoughts. You don't need to fill in the silence all the time. I know how to do that, okay? I know how to be quiet when I have to, pause, use my voice, play with my voice so that I can get people's attention. And this is something you can work on. So you can speak more slowly, especially if you tend to make mistakes in English. It's important to slow down to help people understand your English. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, you really help me. And when you share, oh my goodness, you are helping me. I come here, I do the lessons. All I ask from you is to support me by sharing this video. And if possible, get this amazing study plan, my listening mastery workshop. I know that will be very helpful on your journey to fluency. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.